appreciate it.
They've got an even better teacher with them. So this is my desk over here. This is the House of Representatives, and you guys are kind of fortunate. You get to see like one of the best representatives in the House right there. This is Tyler Clancy. Yeah.
How are you guys?
Good.
We got some Sterling Scholars over here. We got like some like cream of the crop students over here. FSU.
What school are you guys at?
Greenville High School.
Oh, very cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. You're with a good one right here.
Thanks for having us.
He can answer any question that you guys have about education policy. He's in the thick of it. He's in the education committee too. So literally in the front lines of it. So.
But I'm the new kid here in this house, so if you ask me like, what's that? I might be like, nah, that's a thing. It does stuff.
You have to say you told me.
Exactly. See, you should have been a teacher, you know how it goes. So this is the House of Representatives. These desks and these seats can only be sat in by representatives. I brought my students just before the session started, and I let one of my students sit in my seat for this group picture, and I immediately was like, "Oh, get that kid out of there! You know, only representatives can sit in these." I was like, "My bad." And it makes sense because in order to sit in these seats, you have to be elected by your community, right? So I represent House District 41, which is mostly Conwood Heights, Little Murray, Midvale, Holiday, and then Big and Little Conwood Canyons. And you got Tyler from Utah County, he's down there by Provo. We got all kinds of representation from all across the state, and we're all just people. Like Tyler he's a police detective when he's not here, but now he's going to become, actually, this will be his last session because he's going to become the man in charge of homelessness work in the state of Utah. He's going to go work for the governor's office. You got farmers and ranchers and, works for UDOT and all different kinds of jobs in here. And we're all just everyday people like you. One day one of these desks could be yours. And we take 7 weeks out of our lives, we pause, and we come in and we serve, we represent. And then the people, you'll get the chance to sit up there. You watch us do our job. This is like a fishbowl, right? So we're down here working. We were chosen by the people. And if the people, as they watch, don't like the job that we're doing, every 2 years in here, there's an election. You get to replace us. Every 2 years, we have to run again. Some people, like Carol Moss, who sits in this seat, she's been here for 26 years. That's 13 elections where people chose her again and again and again and again. This will be her last session, but she was a teacher too. She's like one of the last of this like great crew of educators who are also legislators. There are rules about what you can and cannot have at your desk, right? So you can't have things that are like making loud political statements. You can't have like signs and other things. So you see a lot of like family stuff. You'll see some goofy things at some desks. My desk, I'm the new one here, so I just have a picture of my wife and girls, so that like when things get hard, I look at them and say, "Ooh, okay, all is well. We can do this." And the Speaker of the House stands up there, and he controls all our microphones. So if there's something that I wanted to say, like yesterday, I started jotting down some notes about a bill that's coming up, a bill that I want to talk about. It has to do with higher education. When it finally comes up on that screen over there, and he says, now, HB 204, blah, 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 we each have these 3 buttons on our desk. Yay, nay, and speak. Every desk has that. So those are your choices as a representative. You can vote yes, you can vote no, or you can say something. You can represent for your people. So I'm gonna hit my speak. Whoop! I accidentally just hit it. So no, it's fine because it turns blue, but until this light turns green, nothing can happen. Like there's no mic. So the speaker will be up there, and he'll see my lights on, and he'll say, "Okay, now who'd like to speak to this Representative Arthur?" He'll push a button, but he has a choice. He doesn't have to let me speak. So he could just be like, It's kind of like in class when like, kids raising their hand. You're like, anybody want to talk? You're like, I want to talk. Look, my light's on. You're like, seeing no one. Let's move on to the next thing. He has that power. And when we talk to each other, it's weird. There's all these rules. You can't actually talk to the person. So like, let's say, I'm disagreeing with one of you, and I stand here at my microphone and I turn and say, Mr. Speaker, I rise in opposition to this bill. I can't look at you. I can't talk to you. I can only look at the speaker and talk to him. That's how you keep fights from breaking out and arguments. This is all about just policies. So you tell Mr. Speaker, this bill has a lot of problems. And you can talk to him, but you can't look at this person like, what are you thinking over there? You can't even say their name. You have to say the good representative from Provo. Good representative. Like, a lot of people don't know where I'm from, so they'll say, the good representative from Salt Lake. I'm like, I'm from Holiday. That's cool. Any questions?
You guys have a house speaker?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the man that stands at the top of the dais, his name is Mike Schultz right now, but you'll have different speakers over time. He's been the Speaker of the House, I think, for 3 years now? 4 years? But it just rotates. Whoever's in the majority party, so the Republicans, there's the Republicans and the Democrats. The Republicans have what's called a supermajority. They have more than 2/3 of the body, so the Speaker is always going to be a Republican until, however many years when elections change the mix a little bit. But yeah, but he's a good guy.
And as well for elections, is it the same for, in terms of like how long they've run for office, is it the same for the Senate?
No, the Senate's 4 years in Utah.
years? Okay.
And then if you look at the federal level, so the ones in Washington, D.C., it's 6 years. And then still 2 years, though, for representatives. The thinking is you got to have a body where people aren't constantly running for elections. Because if you're running for an election, you can imagine, and people like, I don't like this bill, you're more likely to not do what you know is right, but be more influenced by other people who are going to be voting for you soon. So the House tends to be more responsive to what's happening in the public. The Senate is like, yeah, I know that this is going to be unpopular, but I think it's right, so I'm going to do it. And we try to do that too, but they can do that and be like, and then in 3 years when I run again, they will have forgotten. And it'll be like, it never happened, right? No one will hold it against me. You had a question?
Can you give us like a rundown of the day-to-day business during a legislative session? Like, when are you in committee? When are you voting?
It depends day to day. So, you can go on the website, le.utah.gov, to see what committees are going each day. But we get this weekly calendar, right? And so today's Friday, February 13th. You can see up here the standing committees that are working right now from 8 to 9:50. My standing committee, though, met yesterday.
Well, it's meeting today, but it's meeting at 9 because there's only 2 bills.
Yeah. So mine got rescheduled. It's just an hour, 9 to 9:50. I did have a standing committee yesterday morning, too. Most of us are on 2 committees. So some days you don't have any meetings. Some days you just have 1. Today I've got 2. And then right here from 10 to 11:15 is what's called 11:50 is floor time. This is the floor, this is floor time, right? I saw a video the other day of people doing floor time. It's just like laying on the floor. That's not what that is. But I wish it was, because that looked so nice. And most days, we'll have like 1, some days we have maybe 2 floor times, but this is a 7-week session. During the first 4 or 5 weeks, you spend more time in committee because people are presenting bills, trying to get them passed out of committee. The last 2 weeks, we're going to be in here all the time because all those bills going through committee, they've got to come here to get voted on and argued about before they can go over to the Senate, and then their bills have to come over here. So we're just going to be in here for hours and hours and hours. Right now, floor time is one of the shortest things on our calendar. So I can always just kind of look at the calendar for the next week coming up, and this is one of the things that Emerson, as you just heard, is like a lifesaver for. We're thinking about all these bills, all this stuff. As an intern, she's a college student. You want to just tell them how you became an intern?
Yeah, so I'm a college student and I go to Utah State. I study sociology, which is like the study of society and interactions and how that affects everything, basically. And my school has this Institute of Government and Politics, and they run all the government internships from federal to state to local. And I just like sent out one application for all of them, and then I got hired. You have to have 60 college credits to do this. It's full time for the 6 weeks, but you get like a semester's worth of credits.
Yeah. So she's like a partner with a couple roommates who are also interns, and this is like their whole life for this span. But she helps manage my calendar. She was responding to like some of my like kind of organizational emails. She's printing things for me. She's helping me go over like the bills that are coming up that day. She's going to give me a sheet of paper that's got a rundown of the bills I'm going to be talking about this morning. And even though I've read them, it's like details just fly out of my head because I'm trying to get my bills through committee. So I'm thinking about my bills all day. But then there's everybody else's bills, and I don't want to vote yes on something, and then later on have a constituent say, "Why did you vote for that? This is the worst bill ever." And be like, "I couldn't remember that it was. I didn't know it was so bad. My bad." You know, because your votes will be held against you. People will come back 2 years from now and say, "2026, John Arthur voted in favor of this or against that." And I have to be able to say, "I thought about it. I made a decision, and I voted accordingly." Here, you'll see them. We're working on stuff, but people are thoughtful, they're smart, they're doing everything they can to make their lives. Any other questions?
What year are you in college? You don't have to answer
Yeah,
this.
so in college, years are weird. So I'm technically a sophomore right now, but because I did high school classes, I have over 60 credits, so we can do this. There are some girls here who are 18 because they have their associate's degree already that they got in high school. And there's someone who's an intern who's 28. There's someone who used to be a mechanic and she's in her 50s. She wants to be a lawyer, so.
That's one of the coolest things. Yeah. And it's the same thing for the representatives. Like I'm 43. I'm probably among some of the younger representatives, but there are representatives who are younger than me. Like Tyler, who you just saw, he's in his early 30s.
No, he's 29.
Oh, he's 29. I thought he turned 30. My bad. Yeah, he's 29, right? And he's going to run like the state's homelessness efforts, right? But then you've got representatives like Carol Spagman Moss, who's like, she had a full career as a teacher. I'm not gonna say how old she is, but she had a full career as a teacher, and then she's been in the legislature for 26 years, right? So you've got various ages, life experience, rural, urban, all these amazing human beings from different walks of life who are all coming together to make decisions. It's fun. It's so fun. Yeah.
What are you doing during the other weeks of the year then if you're doing this for 7 weeks?
Teaching.
So you take a leave of absence?
Yeah, so I had to take a leave of absence, unpaid leave. My students are with a substitute right now. I was talking to Emerson. I'm supposed to be playing in the teacher versus student volleyball game right now. My school is just like 10, 12 minutes away from here. So I've been visiting. I just got a text last night that every time I visit, my students have a rough day after it because they're like, this and that. So I'm now going to stay away until the session is over. So they and the sub can do their thing, and then in 3 weeks I'm going to go back and play kickball and chicken nuggets and do all the fun elementary school stuff. Yeah, so I'm a school teacher who's legislating. I'm not like legislator is not my number one identity. I don't know if you guys have seen Happy Gilmore. It's Adam Sandler. He's a hockey player, but then he becomes a golf phenom. But he shows up at a golf tournament. His first one, he says, "Hi, I'm Happy Gilmore. I'm a hockey player. I'm playing golf today." That's me. I'm a teacher playing legislator today. And then when this is done, I'm back to teaching. Well, how about I'll walk you guys back on the hill. But before we do, you guys want to go up to the front? We don't want to get in Representative Chris Officer's camera line, so we'll